You know that sinking feeling at 11 p.m. when you close your laptop after a 12-hour day and realize you still haven't touched the one project that could actually grow your business? I'm Mark, and I've spent an embarrassing amount of time reverse engineering why some entrepreneurs hit 7 figures in 3 years, while others work at twice as hard for 15 years and barely crack 6. Here's what most people get catastrophically wrong. They think the path to more revenue is doing more things. More products, more marketing channels, more hustle. But here's the math that'll change how you see your entire business. The entrepreneurs breaking through aren't adding. They're subtracting with surgical precision. By the end of this, you're going to see your daily routine completely differently, because I'm walking you through the exact 4-pillar framework that separates businesses that scale from businesses that stall. And it starts with something most people are doing right now that mathematically guarantees they will stay stuck. Let me start with the truth that's going to sting. You are actively sabotaging your own growth through a pattern I call energy dispersion, and it guarantees mediocrity. Here's the math. You split 100% of your resources across 9 different projects. Each one gets exactly 11% of your energy. You know what 11% gets you? Absolutely nothing meaningful. Why does this destroy you? We've been conditioned by hustle culture to worship multiple income streams, multiple ventures, diversified portfolio. But here's what nobody tells you. It's the exact marker of a business that will never scale. Picture this. You wake up Monday. Website A has a problem, 2 hours gone. Business B's funnel needs updating, 3 more hours. 6 p.m. arrives. You've worked all day. You've made 0 actual progress on anything that matters. What did the businesses that achieved dominance do differently? They ran one core product for years, not months. Years. This allowed them to refine every single operation to a level their scattered competitors could never touch. But your brain is screaming at me right now, isn't it? Because spreading efforts feels safer. If product A crashes, product B might survive. This psychological comfort blanket feels responsible. Here's the brutal reality. This hedging strategy prevents the exact concentration you need for exponential growth. Think about what this means for you. The path to 7 figures requires abandoning the very strategies that helped you survive startup phase. Most small business owners spend decades, literally decades, working 60-plus hour weeks without ever breaking through. Why? They refuse to eliminate and concentrate. This isn't about working harder. It's about something far more painful, reconstructing your entire operational framework through ruthless elimination. Are you ready for what that actually looks like? Here's the counterintuitive discovery that separates the 1% from the 99%. The most successful small businesses don't expand. They dominate a single, narrow niche instead. Think about energy concentration like this. You have a laser pointer and a light bulb. Both use the same energy. The laser cuts through steel. The light bulb just exists. What's the difference? Focus. Here's your new operational framework. True product specialization means committing to one core offering for 5 to 7 years minimum, not launching it and immediately chasing the next shiny object. You pick one thing, you obsess. You become the absolute undisputed best at that specific thing. Why does this work when everything in your brain says it shouldn't? Time and energy are finite. Linear progress in one area beats scattered progress in 10 areas. Every single time. When you focus, you dominate. When you scatter, you get mediocre results everywhere. The delayed expansion principle changes everything. You stay focused on one core offering until you hit 25 to 50 employees before even thinking about a second product line. Does that number shock you? Good. That's the point. Now your brain is screaming about backup plans. What if this one thing fails? Here's what you need to understand. That psychological resistance you're feeling right now is exactly what keeps you poor. It's the voice of mediocrity disguised as prudence. Let me show you the profitability differential. A business with one refined product operates at 40 to 60% higher margins than competitors juggling multiple offerings. Why? Every process, every team member, every marketing dollar optimizes for that single outcome. Nothing gets diluted. Most entrepreneurs believe more products equal more revenue opportunities. It's what I call the spectrum illusion. But the research proves the opposite. Fragmentation destroys the compound effect of mastery. You never dig deep enough to become truly exceptional. Here's the human cost nobody talks about. Business owners scattered across multiple ventures never achieve flow state, never develop deep expertise. The result? Chronic stress and burnout. You know that feeling of always being behind? That's the cost of the multiple business trap. Concentration isn't just a strategy. It's a philosophical stance against the modern epidemic of scattered attention. Before you can scale, you must first choose your singular battlefield, one product, one niche. Everything else steals your future. Now we shift to the second pillar, and this one makes most entrepreneurs physically uncomfortable. Your time must be strictly allocated to activities that directly generate revenue or improve the product. Period. Every hour you spend on low-value tasks is an hour stolen from activities that could 10 times your business. Think about that. What's the actual cost of you cleaning your own house? Here's the $10,000 rule that changes everything. Once your business consistently earns over $10,000 per month, spending your time cooking is mathematical self-sabotage. Your specialized skills are worth $200 to $500 per hour. Why are you doing $15 per hour work? Professionalized nutrition creates an asymmetric advantage. Hiring meal prep removes the daily mental drain of deciding what to eat, shopping, cooking, cleaning up. That's the 10 to 15 hours of productive time reclaimed each week. What could you build with an extra 15 hours? The batching alternative if you can't afford help yet. Buy all groceries and cook all meals on Sunday. One day of domestic work protects 5 days of pure focus. Does this sound extreme? It should. Extreme results require extreme protocols. Systemized health means outsourcing fitness and nutrition to a coach. They ensure accountability and remove the cognitive load of planning workouts. You just show up and execute. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds lazy. Entitled. Here's the truth. That guilt is exactly what keeps you small. This isn't laziness, it's strategic resource allocation. Think about the compounding effect. An extra 20 hours per week focused on revenue-generating activities means the difference between $200,000 and $2 million in annual revenue. That's a 10 times difference from just protecting your time. Here's the humanitarian dimension nobody discusses. Entrepreneurs who burn themselves out on domestic tasks often neglect their families anyway. You're exhausted, mentally absent. You're creating the worst of both worlds, neither business success nor quality time with loved ones. Your time has monetary value. Spending it on $15 per hour tasks when you could generate $500 per hour value is mathematical self-sabotage. Can you afford to keep making that trade? The principle is simple. Your brain's capacity for high-level decision-making depletes with every trivial choice you make throughout the day. Stop bleeding decisions on what's for dinner. Now, the most underestimated factor in business performance, attention protection. And this is where most entrepreneurs completely destroy themselves. We live in an unprecedented era. Trillion-dollar companies have engineered products specifically designed to fragment and monetize your attention. You're trying to build a business while carrying a weapon of mass distraction in your pocket. Does that sound sustainable? The isolation principle. The most effective strategy for high-level output is creating a physical environment with zero external distractions. Lock the windows. Close the doors. Protect the perimeter. The notification. Zero protocol means turning off all push notifications and keeping your phone in a separate room or drawer. This is non-negotiable for achieving deep work states. How many notifications did you get while reading this? The minimalist app usage framework. Reduce your smartphone to just 4 to 5 essential apps. Delete everything else. Social media drains 2 to 4 productive hours per day from the average entrepreneur. What could you build with an extra 20 hours per week? Non-reactive communication changes the game completely. Check email once every 3 days. Does that terrify you? Good. And when you check email constantly, your time is no longer yours. It belongs to everyone who can reach you. The anonymity shield. Keep your mobile number off email signatures and business cards. Unsolicited calls break focus and signal that you're available to be interrupted. High-value people are hard to reach. Your fear right now, what if I miss an opportunity? Here's what you need to understand. Availability signals low value. Scarcity signals high value. Which do you want to project? Let me show you the psychology. Every notification triggers a cortisol response and breaks a deep focus. Recovery time extends 15 to 20 minutes after each interruption. Get interrupted 6 times per day, you lose 2 hours just recovering. You cannot maintain focus on the power of one strategy while simultaneously allowing 47 different apps to interrupt your thinking. The math doesn't work. Entrepreneurs who implement strict digital defense protocols report entering flow state 3 to 5 times more frequently. Flow state is where breakthrough work happens. Without it, you're just busy. Without digital defense, all other optimization efforts fail. Why? Because your attention, the raw material of business success, constantly leaks away. You're trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom, fix the hole first. We're at the fourth pillar, and this is the one that determines whether everything else actually works. Ruthless discipline through strict daily protocols. Consistent scheduling. Maintain an identical wake-up and sleep time 7 days a week. This is the foundation for biological optimization and effective planning. Your body craves rhythm. Give it one. The sleep foundation changes everything. Sleep is the single most important factor for productivity. Why? It preserves your conscious mind, the police officer of your routine that enables willpower. Miss sleep, lose willpower, lose discipline, lose everything. The Avalanche Effect. Breaking even one small part of your daily routine triggers total collapse. One missed workout becomes a week off. One sleep in destroys your morning routine. This creates a domino effect that demolishes weeks of progress. Have you experienced this? The morning stacking protocol. Complete high-impact tasks like training, meditation, and customer research before 9 a.m., before the standard workday even starts. This allows you to outperform competitors by 10 to 15 hours per week. They're checking email. You've already won the day. Self-observation through data. Use metrics like sleep trackers to get objective feedback on your performance. Your feelings lie. The data doesn't. Track or fail. Most entrepreneurs view strict routines as restrictive, prison-like. Here's the paradox. They're actually liberating because they eliminate decision fatigue. Freedom comes from structure, not chaos. The compound effect of consistency. The difference between maintaining your routine 95% versus 70% of the time isn't 25%. It's exponential. Momentum builds or collapses based on streak maintenance. Miss twice, you're done. Moving from taking every day as it comes to implementing monk-like daily protocols represents a fundamental identity change. You shift from reactive to proactive, from scattered to focused, from amateur to professional. This isn't a life hack. It's a complete lifestyle reconstruction that will feel uncomfortable for months before the compound effects become visible. All previous strategies collapse without this disciplinary foundation. Concentration fails without routine. Time reclamation fails without discipline. Digital defense fails without consistency. This is the bedrock. You can live like the standard small business owner, constantly connected, reactive, scattered, or you can adopt the high-performance protocol, isolated, phone in drawer, obsessing over one product. One path leads to decades of struggle. The other leads to scale. Which future are you choosing? Now let's examine what happens to entrepreneurs who don't implement these protocols, because the consequences aren't abstract. They're brutal and specific. The lifestyle trap. Most small business owners work 60 to 80-hour weeks for decades, earning less than they would in a corporate job, while simultaneously sacrificing health and family relationships. Is this the freedom you signed up for? The health consequences, chronic stress from juggling multiple ventures and constantly reacting to notifications, creates elevated cortisol, poor sleep, weight gain, and eventual burnout. Your body keeps score even when you ignore it. The relationship cost cuts deeper. Entrepreneurs who can't protect their attention are never truly present with family. You're creating children raised by physically present but mentally absent parents. They'll remember that you were always busy. Financial stagnation is the most painful. Businesses that remain scattered across multiple products, constantly connected, lacking strict protocols, they plateau at $100,000 to $500,000 and never break through to seven figures. Never. The math won't allow it. Opportunity cost on a life scale. Spending 15 years building a scattered business that barely supports you means missing the window to create generational wealth. Those years are gone forever. You don't get them back. The psychological toll, constant context switching, guilt over neglected tasks, overwhelmed from being always available, this creates a mental health crisis among entrepreneurs. The suicide rate among business owners is 2 times the national average. Why? Businesses run by scattered owners create scattered teams. Your employees mirror your fragmented focus. The result? Mediocre execution across your entire organization. The market reality. Competitors who implement concentration and discipline will dominate your niche while you're distracted managing 3 different websites. They're focused. You're scattered. Who wins? The tragedy. Many entrepreneurs started their journey seeking freedom and impact, but end up more trapped and less effective than they were as employees. They're working harder, earning less, sacrificing more, and creating less value in the world. Every week that passes without implementing these protocols is a week of compounding in the wrong direction. The gap between you and focused competitors gets wider. How many more weeks can you afford to lose? Here's the complete framework. Power of one for concentration. Radical outsourcing for time reclamation. Digital defense for attention protection. Monk-like discipline for foundational consistency. Implementation order. Choose your single focus, eliminate household tasks, implement digital boundaries, build the daily routine. In that sequence, this transformation will feel unnatural and uncomfortable for 3 to 6 months before the compound effects become visible. Your old identity will fight you. Let it. The choice. Continue as a scattered entrepreneur watching focused competitors dominate, or commit to the reconstruction protocol that separates the 1% who scale from the 99% who plateau. The path is clear. The math is undeniable. The only question is whether you're willing to become unrecognizable to your current self. Your future depends on your answer.